Morning unfolds gently across the heavens. The pavilion by the lotus pond glows with a faint golden mist. There, Runyu and Jinmi sit across from each other, a chessboard between them. Jinmi, ever curious, studies the pieces for a long while. Her eyes glimmer mischievously. With a flick of her fingers, she whispers a spell, hoping to turn the chess piece into a warm bun for breakfast. But instead, a giant hailstone suddenly forms in midair and crashes onto the board with a loud thud. Jinmi blinks, stunned. Runyu, composed as ever, raises an elegant brow. Perhaps, he says in his gentle, unhurried voice, you should practice your spells on something less fragile. She rubs her head, embarrassed but grinning. I just wanted breakfast, not a blizzard. For a moment, Runyu's lips soften into a rare smile. The sound of their laughter drifts through the courtyard, mingling with the fragrance of early plum blossoms. The morning feels bright, alive, as if even the heavens themselves are amused by their playfulness. In that still world above the clouds, time seems to flow slower, and the boundary between godhood and humanity blurs. Yet, peace in the heavens never lingers long. Beyond the tranquil pavilion, a faint ripple passes through the air, a sign that fate, once again, has begun to stir. Later that afternoon, Jinmi hums to herself as she pours tea and arranges the tiny pastries she made. Runyu, seated nearby, receives a scroll carried by a celestial crane. The letter bears the seal of the celestial palace. He opens it quietly. His expression hardly changes. Only the slightest shadow flickers in his eyes. Jinmi tilts her head. What's wrong? You look serious. He folds the letter with deliberate calm, sliding it aside as though it means nothing. Nothing important, he replies softly. Just some affairs that concern the heavens. But Jinmi knows. She's seen that same look before. The kind he wears when he's hiding something painful. As dusk falls, the sky deepens into silver blue. Soft clouds drift like silk above the lotus pond. Runyu stands quietly at the water's edge and watching petals fall one by one, each reflection breaking softly across the ripples. Jinmi approaches with a tray of tea. The porcelain cups tremble slightly in her hands. Here, she says with a gentle smile, you've been staring at the pond for so long. It must be thinking you're in love with it. Runyu chuckles softly. Perhaps I am, he murmurs, for it never argues, never lies, and always reflects what it sees truthfully. Jinmi blinks, thinking for a moment. But it only shows what's on the surface, she says. Maybe that's why people need hearts, to see what lies beneath. Her words hang between them like the softest wind. Runyu turns to look at her, eyes shimmering with quiet warmth. Do you ever believe, he asks gently, that fate can be rewritten, like a poem changed with new lines? Jinmi laughs, her voice bright as starlight. If fate's a poem, then I'll make mine full of happy lines. Maybe even draw a few smiley faces. Runyu smiles faintly, but there's sadness in it. Then may your poem never fade, Jinmi, he whispers, even when the ink of destiny runs dry. The air between them stills, filled with unspoken tenderness and something far more dangerous. Night descends. A faint breeze stirs the lanterns by the pavilion. Jinmi dozes off beside the chessboard, her cheek resting against her arm, a stray curl brushing against her lips. Runyu covers her gently with his robe. His fingers linger for just a moment longer than they should. In that quiet pause, 1,000 thoughts cross his mind. All the words he cannot say, all the feelings he dares not show. He looks up at the moon. Its reflection trembles in the pond, as if even the heavens themselves are uncertain. Far away, beneath the cold stars, Feng trains alone in the icy mountains. Each sword strike cuts through the frozen air, echoing with the rhythm of longing and loss. He remembers Jinmi's laughter, soft, innocent, untouchable, and though he tells himself to forget, her name remains etched upon his heart like frost that never melts. The gods may command the stars, but they cannot command their hearts. Even immortals are prisoners of the same fragile longing that binds humankind. Back in the pavilion, Runyu sits beside Jinmi's sleeping form, his voice barely more than a sigh. Perhaps one day, he murmurs, even the heavens will envy mortals, for their right to love without fear. The wind carries his words away, soft, sorrowful, eternal. Moonlight spills across the floor, touching both of them in silence. And as the night deepens, petals drift down like gentle snow, settling upon the chessboard between them, where one frozen piece still rests, a reminder of how even the smallest spell can change the course of fate.